Hello and happy Practice Friday, everybody. Welcome to Creative Chaos. I see we've got 21 people watching live. That's pretty cool. Thank you for coming over and checking us out. For anybody that does not know what Creative Chaos is, it is a show dedicated to shining a spotlight on fascinating people, creating fantastic things outside the mainstream. And we do this every Thursday night. But first, I want to thank our opening band. Our opening house band tonight was Lunatics Fringe, and I might have been a baddie and not. No, okay, I do have a link. I have a link. I'll drop the link here in just a few minutes. And hello to Carrie popping in and saying what's up early on. And then, of course, our guest tonight is Levi Skeen, and he also said hello in chat. So thank you for everybody that is here. And I have not scrolled yet to see if my awesome co-host is here, and he is. So let's bring in the Batman.
Hey, what's going on, Christy Mac?
It's good to see you.
Thank you. It's good to see you too.
Oh, you couldn't dig out an ugly Christmas sweater, I see.
I just literally walked in the door and set everything up. I haven't even plugged in my phone yet. And here, let me try this, see if it'll flip. There we go. Okay. I don't know if you saw me spin upside down, but I literally haven't even plugged in my phone yet, and I'm at 46%.
Okay. So, well, thank you for
just made it here.
And I'm sure you'll have an opportunity to catch up with us.
I'm going to run upstairs and try once we get the guests in, and then get everything squared away after fanboy for us.
Yes. Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Yeah.
But wait, since you've got me here, I just have to say something out there to the audience. First, hi, everybody. Welcome aboard the Flip City Magazine Creative Chaos Show for tonight. But secondly, I need you to like, subscribe, ring that bell, like, and subscribe. And buy the damn magazine, for God's sake. Get up and buy the magazine.
We are almost to the pitch. I know you get so excited for the pitch.
I do.
Last week we even did a fun little skit, I think. But the pitch is rather simple tonight because tonight is the very last day that you can order the Christmas pack. So, Cause, if you can bring up that cool little GIF I made. So this is a GIF kind of telling you what's involved with the Flip City Magazine gift package. You're getting 4 issues in time for Christmas. Well, if the USPS does their job, I'm thinking they'll make it though. And a gifting card. So even if you're ordering for somebody across the country, I will put a gifting card in there saying to so-and-so from so-and-so. And I'll show you the details here. So, Cause, we're good with the gift because I'm going to show everybody what this includes live. And there is the product right there. You can get it at flipcitymag.com, and I might be able to dig out that link as well and drop it in chat. Anyway, we will be sending the package in a priority envelope, and if I'm sending them out tomorrow, they should arrive in time for Christmas. And the way it's coming is I wrap it in a bag, and on the outside, I'll write something like to and from and Merry Christmas. And inside the package is the 4 magazines that you're going to get, which include Volume 19. This is last year's Christmas edition, so it has a lot of Christmas-themed stuff in it. Volume 15, which was 2022's Christmas edition. This has the Flip City Christmas Songbook. It's freaking hilarious, and all kinds of other themed Christmas content in it. And our more recently published volume 21s and 20. So that's lots of laughs right there on Christmas Day. And then they're also going to get all 4 of the editions that we published throughout 2024. And the little bonuses is here's the gifting card. Looks like that. Look, all the grains. Look, I can peek through it, maybe. So you get a gifting card and a handcrafted tinfoil hat. I mean, it's such a fun bargain. So you can go to flipcitymag.com and click through to our store and go into the subscription section, and you'll see the very first product listed is the Christmas pack. So hurry, do it. Best Christmas gift you can give anybody that likes to laugh, basically.
Absolutely. Loving my subscription.
Yes. Okay. Guess what? It's time to
What?
bring in our guests.
It's about time.
Yeah, that's right. So we've got Levi Skeen. For anybody that is around Creative Chaos participating in chat, you will see Levi Skeen. Skin I kind of like too. You'll see him in chat all the time, chatting it up with everybody in there and always giving us shit if we decide not to spin the wheel at the end. So I'm happy to have him on. He's excited to spin the wheel in Conspiracy Corner. But first, we're going to talk about his project Galaxy Memorial Park, which is going to launch on Memorial Day 2025. And I have got a very short little teaser trailer, and then we'll bring them in.
In the heart of a major city, in a place raised to honor Earth's past protectors, the world will again learn, sometimes, superpowered intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Galaxy Memorial Park, Volume 1, beginning crowdfunding Memorial Day 2025.
And here they are. It's Levi and JD. I'm so sorry I didn't mention you're going to be here. But hello, and it's nice to meet you, sir.
Yes, it's nice to meet you too.
Christy, Bruce, Cosmic, how's it going?
Howdy, gentlemen. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great.
I didn't have an ugly sweater, but I am joyful tonight.
That works. That works for me. And well, joyful, another word for it is gay. So you might be gay.
I could be.
Tonight he'll be joyful and gay, okay?
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to Creative Chaos. And like I said, nice to meet you, JD. I think we're going to kick it right off and do fanboy for us so we can get to know you real quick here. And Batman is going to tell you how it works after the stinger. So we got to get it.
All right. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions about some of your favorite things, and I need the quickest, right off the top of your head answer. Mm-hmm. All right? So we're going to start with Levi. Levi, I'm going to ask you first.
Okay.
Who's your favorite character? Any genre, TV, movie, comic, whatever.
Colossus from the X-Men.
Oh, okay. All right. JD?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to say
rapid fire. No explanations, right?
You can explain after we find out JD's.
All right. Rambo.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
Rambo.
Cool.
Are you retired military by chance?
Nope. I'm not gonna steal any honor there. No, but
okay.
I've loved Rambo, both the novels and the movies, basically since I was I was old enough to drive to go to the movies.
Very cool. Very cool. So did you read the book first or did you watch the movies first?
It was the movies. It wasn't until I started to see the movies that I started to read the novel. Well, first the novel by David Morrell, and then the novelizations of Rambo First Blood Part 2 and Rambo 3. And I think those are the only two. Those are the only three, the original and then the novelizations of 2 and 3.
Okay. And Levi was going to tell us something about Colossus.
He's got the soul of an artist, and he's always there to protect his friends.
And he's gay now, isn't he?
Oh, no.
What? No.
It's Marvel. Everybody is. So,
oh, jeez. Yeah. I thought he was. I thought he was married to Kitty Pryde.
I don't know. I'm going by hearsay. So
Gotcha. All right. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to switch up to my laptop, which I did bring with me, but I didn't get a chance to set up because people are hearing static on my end, which I'm surprised because I thought the earbuds worked. But we're gonna continue on with this while I get my laptop opened in the meanwhile. But
awesome.
second question. Favorite food, anything, favorite food, dessert or other, favorite food, Levi.
Mexican.
Okay. JD?
Movie popcorn.
Oh, okay.
Movie
Are
popcorn.
you a big movie goer?
I used to be till the mysterious happening that shut everything down. And the fact that movies just generally are more expensive and they suck. So, but I used to want to
Yes, they
be.
do.
I used to want to be Mr. Hollywood.
It's more painful now, if you go and see a
Mhm.
sucky movie. You're like, I spent so much money on that night.
Yes. And if there's any hint of like political weirdness, it's like I just got kicked in the ribs for nothing, or for not for nothing, but $100. No thanks.
Yeah. I got to tell you, I just watched Red One, the Santa Claus movie,
Was that good?
and I was actually impressed with it. Yes, it was actually really good. It wasn't woke. It had no political agenda, and I'm actually frustrated with The Rock because he's a scumbag these days because he pushed the jab for all that stupidity. And him and John Cena can go suck eggs as far as I'm concerned. I'm done with them.
Yeah, that was sad. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got to hail out to Gwendolyn
Gwendolyn.
I am messing your last name up. I'm calling you
fine.
Skeen. But hello, Gwendolyn. Is this the master debater?
Yes. She wins every argument now.
Nice.
Yes.
No, she doesn't.
Yes.
I don't believe it. She's going to have to convince me.
That's
sounds fun.
She is a national champion.
I do. I would believe it. Yes.
Yep.
All right. So now I'm going to ask your favorite movie since you already went there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Go ahead, JD. You first.
The Exorcist.
The original or the new?
None of the new ones. Just the
None
original.
of the new ones. The original. Okay.
Just the original.
All right. And Levi?
So when it comes to favorite movies, I always go with, if you're flipping through the channels and you stop and you finish the movie, it's one of your top 5 favorite movies. And I love Forrest Gump. I'll watch that every day.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Is
all right.
life
Good choice.
like a box of chocolates, or what's the mandolin?
Life is like a box of chocolates.
Mandela effect.
Mm-hmm.
Mandela effect. There's something about that. Life
Yeah.
is a box of chocolates, or life is like a box. I forget what the difference is supposed to be. Sorry.
No, that's quite all right. Now, favorite drink, alcoholic or non-alcoholic?
Me?
Come on, JD. Stop thinking. Spit it out.
I don't have to. Southern Comfort. Comfort and Coke.
Okay. SoCo and Coke. I like that. All right, good man.
Mm-hmm.
And Levi?
I would, well, if it's a regular drink, I'm usually drinking coffee. If it's alcohol, I prefer White Russian.
Okay. I was on a White Russian kick for a long time. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
There you
That's
go.
what I
All right.
remember.
Thank you, Carrie.
There's all kinds of weird
But there is a Mandela effect scenario based on that.
There is, but I forget exactly what the difference is,
Well,
so I shouldn't have even
It
brought
just
it
so
up.
happens that
What?
The
Oh,
next
did he
time,
freeze?
the next time you guys are watching,
Oh, Thaddeus is in the house.
What's up, Paul?
Cool.
Go ahead. What were you going to say about that, Levi?
the next time you watch Forrest Gump, you see the scene where she drives away in the bus and he's waving to her in the back, and he does the symbol for Satan. He does this.
No.
Like that. He actually
Really?
does. Yeah. A lot of people's like, oh, he's doing
Oh.
peace, and it's kind of like, well, you look at both hands, he's actually going hail Satan.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look
Well,
that one up.
I don't know if you heard the deal with him, but
Yes.
With
he's
the Black Eye
a
Club?
big fan. He's a big fan of Diddy's white parties.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seeing all those
Yep.
gloves.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to say something really quick about SoCo. Is I never liked it until somebody made me an old fashioned with it, and then it was perfect. I loved it.
I've never tried an old fashioned with SoCo.
Yeah, it's good. It makes it sweeter. Anyway, are we still doing fanboy for us, or did we touch on the last one?
I think we went through it all. I don't have my cheat sheet in front of me, but I think we did. Oh, no, we did favorite character.
Mhm.
I think we covered it. Favorite drink was the last one, so we're good. All right,
All right.
let's get on with our segments. And while
That's
you guys
right.
are doing that, I'm
See
gonna
you on
just
the other
mute out
side.
here. Yeah, I'm gonna jump out here and get my laptop going, so I get rid of the static.
All right,
I'll see you
sounds good.
boys. I'll see you boys and lady in a few seconds.
All right, cool.
Ooh. All right, we are going to talk about Galaxy Memorial Park. And Levi, I was so happy that you sent me, and I felt like my heart grew 2 times, and not because of all the bacon I eat.
Right.
When
Hang on 1 second. Let me
Yeah.
preface this. Don't get mad, Pops. Don't get mad.
Okay, don't
Go
get
ahead.
mad, Pops. He
Oh.
might be busy doing something else, so he might not even be here listening. But Levi sent me the digital ash can, and so I was able to read part of the story or the intro. This is going to be actually kind of part of mansplain, because you guys are going to have to mansplain what an ash can is, because I'm not a comic book person. But we're not going to do that yet. That's for the segment. Anyway, so I got to read a little bit and kind of understand a little more about your story. It's called Galaxy Memorial Park, and the basis is it's a park with statues of old superheroes. Now, one of you guys take it from there.
Okay.
My quick elevator pitch has always been it's Arlington Cemetery for superheroes, and I add J's to it, or we're heroic. Oh crap! No, I'm goofing it up.
Heroic intrigue doesn't stop at the grave. Superheroic intrigue does not stop at the grave. If you've ever read a comic book or seen a superhero movie, you know that they're always coming back from the dead at some point. So, and because it is a cemetery, it has the remains of some very powerful people, and there's all sorts of security. We're talking just crazy security, but that doesn't stop the bad guys from trying to get in and either, get their hands on the remains or attack people that are there to remember the heroes that have passed, or just cause general chaos. Yeah. And in the Ashcan edition, you don't quite see what's going on in the background just yet, but it gives you just enough to give you the idea of, okay, this is what the place is. This is what the world is. These are some of the big characters.
So if Spider-Man passed away, he would want Mary Jane to visit his gravesite. So he would also want her to be protected as she did this. So the one thing that the park does is what we refer to as the Watchman protocols, where if you go visit your loved one's grave there, you're basically you won't come under any harm. The park will know you by your fruits, so to speak. So what has happened in the first issue right there is something has happened in that ash can that we gave you that shouldn't have happened. Right. So something went wrong at the park. So that was the first indication of like, wait a minute, something's wrong with the protocols. So we have a flashback stories, and then we have an ongoing story of like what exactly is going on with the park now. It's broken.
Okay,
Yep.
so what is the full plan for the? I'm assuming you have a series in mind.
Yep. So the initial story, we're talking 300 pages of graphic novel. And because there's so much there, we're dividing it up into volumes. The Ash Can is the first 17 pages of the first volume, which is about 3 chapters. Each one has about 3 chapters, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. And then the final volume is going to be about 4 chapters, 3 chapters and an epilogue, which kind of wraps everything up. So that's how we're doing it. Every single year on Memorial Day, our plan is to release a new volume through Fund My Comic. And Luke Stone and Fund My Comic, they seem like such a great organization. I really want to give him as much business as possible, and because the guy is not just like, you know, what people call like the pink and the green, you know, platforms, crowdfunding platforms. I want to give him as much business and as much success as possible. So that's
Heck
why
yeah.
Levi and I are going with us. And I know that Flip City goes through.
That's right, and the only
Fun.
one we do not
Yes.
do pink or green either. And
Mhm.
see, we're idealists over here, so it is
Yeah.
a small platform. You know, I know it doesn't come with the benefit, like all of the benefits that the big two have. But number one, we don't want to censor ourselves, and number
Yeah.
two, the independent stuff isn't going to, you know, get up to mainstream level unless we support it.
That's right.
You know, so
That's absolutely right. Yes.
so I'm happy you guys are doing the same thing. And there's
Mm-hmm.
quite a few creators that have kind of made that commitment to Fund My Comic. And I just love Luke Stone. I'm going to have him back
Mm-hmm.
on soon because he was one of my first guests on
Nice.
Creative Chaos. And it was very fun.
Mm-hmm.
He has a dirtier mind than you'd think.
Mm. That's actually very surprising, but
Yeah.
what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
So the basics of it would be 4 graphic novels over the
Yes.
tentatively right now 4 graphic novels over the course of 4 years, each one being released on May 25th, or excuse, not 25th, Memorial Day, starting in 2025. Oh man, I just blanked.
So releasing on May 25th,
Right.
Memorial
Yes.
Day every year. I'm just helping you with your train.
No,
Maybe
we're
they'll
good.
push
We're
it
good.
Right.
So, just in case anybody's wondering, like, and you haven't met me before, I've had 3 strokes, and so later on in the day, my brain gets a little fuzzy. So that's just kind of what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
You
Me,
know-
I have no excuse.
You
Yeah.
got no excuse whatsoever.
You know, Levi, I'm going to take a moment to interject a fun fact about you is that you named your studio 3 Strokes Studio.
Correct.
And so that was kind of funny
Yeah.
because it kind of, you know, fits in with the paint thing, but it's actually Strokes, you guys.
Right.
The origin of this book is really what I was doing for physical therapy, because, you know, I was limited in the amount of things that I could do after my strokes. And the one thing that I could do was my art. And once I found that out, you know, and Jay was always a real good friend and kept up on things. And he's like, well, what can we do now? You're right. And I'm like, well, let's dust off Galaxy Memorial. And then Trump came along and mentioned, you know, a park for heroes. And you're like, oh, crap. You know, he's taking our idea out of the ether and he's going to steal it from us. So we better start doing it. And in this entire time, I'm doing artwork for physical therapy, and Jay's sitting there just slaving away. He wrote 13 chapters for this book, so he wrote the entire series while I started together. We developed over 100 characters. We basically had to build the Marvel universe and then blow it up. So there's a lot of pre-work involved, even into the first story.
Yes.
Well, something that I love having, writing artist teams on is finding out your own origin story. Because I know you guys live close enough to visit each other, so that's cool. How'd you
Yes.
meet?
Oh, you want to, or?
So usually back in the day at comic book
Yep.
shops, if you were to meet your fellow nerd creators, like, hey, I want to be a comic book artist, you would put your little note up on the Post-it board. And I go into the comic book shop and I see a note up on the Post-it board looking for artists. And it was JD and his friend Ben. And we got together, we had pizza and with some other artists, and they threw some ideas around, and the friendship started there. And that was over 30 years ago.
Whoa,
Oh, yeah.
that's a long
Yes.
time.
Yep.
So you knew
2015.
normal pre-stroke Levi.
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good grief, man. 1995. Yes. But the idea itself, well, okay, that's right. I'm like I said, I have no excuse. The our own origins, yeah, that's so we started out kind of working on a character that I had come up with. I really liked 80s action movies and 80s horror movies. And I thought, what if there was this paranormal investigator that was like a combination of Dirty Harry and Kolchak the Night Stalker from 1970s. And Macabre, yep, Liam Macabre. And I thought, oh yeah, this is going to be great. I can do all of the supernatural stuff and, mob bad guys and all this stuff. And then the more that we started working on this, suddenly everybody would take a look at like the work that Levi was doing, or, I would explain what the character is. And, oh, that sounds like Mike Mignola's Hellboy, because I'd never heard of Hellboy. Yeah, he's the guy that's always fighting monsters and stuff. And I would go to a comic shop, and Hellboy was this red dude with aviator goggles on his forehead fighting Nazis. And it's like, this is nothing that, but, we just kind of plowed on with it. And then right about 2000 or so, I read, it was a story collection called The Corpse and the Iron Shoes. And I read it, and it's like, oh my gosh, this is everything, Hellboy graphic novel, like with a bunch of stories in it. And I thought, this is everything I wanted to do with Macabre. So we tried to take it in a different direction and didn't really pan out. Then we came up with another idea. Okay, what if we, because there was something called Common Grounds, which was a coffee shop for superheroes. And we thought,
it started off in the indie circuit as a comic book called Holy Crawlers, and then got picked up by Image Comics.
Yes,
and this series is the same concept as Galaxy Memorial Park. It's a comic book not about a person but a place, and then you involve all these stories into it. And one of the best stories that come out of I always call it Holy Crows, Common Grounds, was a superhero. It's basically a coffee shop. You go there, you're not allowed to fight. So you have the superhero in the bathroom. He's using the bathroom, and in the next stall, somebody asks for some toilet paper, and it turns out it's his arch enemy. And they start having this discussion back and forth between the stall, and the arch enemy's a little bit upset because as it turns out, he finds out through the course of this conversation that he wasn't the guy's actual arch enemy. That he was a couple steps below, and the hero actually thought this guy was some other guy was.
No, that's a funny concept.
Yeah. So it was simply a way we're like, okay, this is a great concept, and it had different writers, different artists, and it came in as simply one comic book, like 3 different chapters in it, and we just simply thought, because we had a group of friends around, we were like, this is perfect. Let's all of us get together. It's a perfect way to develop a concept where we can all get together as friends and work on one project and get published together.
That
Yep.
is fantastic. And I'm sorry because I was distracted with the chat because Carrie
Ah,
said a really nice thing to you. Did you say that got picked up by Image Comics?
it did. Yes. Holy
That's
Crawlers.
awesome.
Yeah. Holy Crawlers got picked up by Image Comics and became Common Grounds. You can go find it. Yeah. So there's an Ethan Van Sciver chapter in it, and
Mhm.
some guy decides he's going to rob because it's a donut shop / coffee shop. He's going to rob the restaurant at closing time, and he simply robs the restaurant and kidnaps the waitress that works there, right? And at the end of the spoilers, plug your ears, everybody. At the end of the chapter, she literally tells him like, "What kind of an idiot do like? Who do you think works at a superhero restaurant?"
Mhm.
Right? And then she just tortures him, burns him alive, type of deal.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like, yeah, you're fucking with the wrong person. Even the waitresses have powers here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
um, wow. Okay. Now this is the point in time where I critique people's presence online because I wish I would have known that. Like more about your guys' relationship and
Mhm.
who you are and that you have had work published. I didn't. Do you have any of that stuff online anywhere?
Well,
Like
we
that
haven't.
information?
I think there's a little
Well,
bit. I
yeah.
think, yeah, the Holy Crawlers was not our book, if that's what you're
No.
referring to.
No.
Okay.
No.
No. Yeah,
We got the idea for Galaxy Memorial Park from
from the
Okay.
or from Common Grounds, which is what it became when Dark Horse, picked it
Okay.
up.
That's where my distraction really
yeah,
screwed it up in my head then because I
That's
thought it was
okay.
you guys.
So basically, what it started out with was kind of jokey, this is a graveyard for superheroes. And of course, yeah, haha, they're always coming back and all of that. But the more I started to kind of write it and the more we started to kind of talk it through, suddenly it stopped being so jokey. I started to, both of us started to think about, okay, wait a minute. So these are people, the people that are around the cast of characters around a superhero. They're almost like a family that loses somebody that like went to Iraq or some other conflict. What is that going to be like? There's also a lot of I don't know how to say the guy's name. Kurt Busiek, is it? Astro City. I had a lot of that kind of clonking around in my head as well. So between Levi and I, it suddenly got
yeah.
the backstory got a little bit more serious. And so
Okay.
that's kind of the way it is now. It's not really like it was. It's a little bit less jokey. It's definitely more serious.
As
Yeah,
as the industry, as we've seen the industry kind of head in the wrong direction, we kind of
Yep.
decided to take our book in a different direction as well.
Yeah,
yes,
So
that makes
and
sense.
yeah, kind of put the things in there we want to see and we want to talk about.
Okay.
yeah.
So is this the first time you guys are out of the gate doing any kind of crowdfunding together then?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Then that's part of the reason why we're kind of waiting until Memorial Day of 2025. We want to build up the momentum and we want to learn as much from, say, Critical Blast. What's the best way to do this? From Fund My Comic. What's the best way to do this? Because both Levi and I are like, okay, one thing, we have the entire book almost completely done. It's lettered. We're learning how to put the thing together. And the ash can is like our first, here it is. Okay, here it is, world.
Right.
But the thought of doing a cash grab and having everybody like pile a bunch of money on us and we don't have anything done, that's beyond cringe. That's beyond cringe. It's dishonest.
There is a wide varying, people feel
Ugh.
different ways about it because that really is what crowdfunding was designed for.
Yeah.
was the idea and the funding to actually do it. But
Right.
I know so many people that do have things all the way finished or like 90% finished and,
Mhm.
decide to launch on a certain date,
That's,
Yep.
that's exactly
So
what we go ahead.
I just don't feel like it's cringe. I don't, because I crowdfunded a documentary back in 2012, and it was to make the documentary. We
Yeah.
wouldn't have been able to do it without the money,
Yeah.
I guess by cringe, what I mean is not actually having anything done, not just before, but you're sitting here 3 years later.
Well,
So when is this thing going to be done? Because I've seen, and I can't be the only one that's not like gotten something that they've like contributed to,
Right.
or it's kind of sitting 2 or 3 years later. Okay,
So
Yeah.
going back to my strokes on the same subject. My strokes blew out my vestibular, which is fight or flight. It's balanced, but it's also fight or flight. So there comes a lot along the lines of a lot of.
what's that?
Sounds like Galaxy Memorial Park.
It is.
Oh,
That's
Wait,
like
you
the
guys
initial
heard that?
teaser trailer.
We heard
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
You guys
we heard
heard
it.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
was on mute, so I don't know how that worked, but
Uh.
I'm back.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, it was
Yes, that
perfect. It was
That
Galaxy
was
Memorial
Galaxy
Park.
Memorial Park on my phone. I clicked on it and it opened up, and I'm
Mhm.
like, and then I heard him. Everybody went mute, and I'm like, wait, hearing that? No, they can't be hearing that. It's on mute, but it didn't. That's
Mhm.
wild. So my mute button doesn't work. That's bizarre as hell. Okay. Sorry, guys.
And because you brought the strokes up again,
Yeah.
I did want to read Carrie's comment out loud because I think it's
Great.
so nice. So she says, "I think you are amazing, Levi. I hope you inspire many more people. None of your strokes stopped you from chasing your dreams, and be out there with JD putting out your own comics." And
Thank
that
you,
is,
Mhm.
I agree wholeheartedly with Carrie, and it was such a
Right.
nice way to put it, I think.
It's all about
Mhm.
managing my symptoms, and one of the symptoms you get with the vestibular being blown out is in the fight or flight is anxiety. So if I had a certain amount of money sitting over my head going, no, you need to draw,
I
it would
see.
it'd put me in the wrong
Mhm.
state of mind.
Mhm.
So it's better to have everything finished, everything all ducks in a row, and like JD said, we the first issue. First 3 chapters of the book is technically done. The second book is technically done. I mean, so we are halfway through this thing already before we're even launching our first ash can.
Mhm.
So
That's so cool. So
yeah.
so everybody know that I'm going to take this moment and just shill for your sign up list because that's what you want right now is as
Yes.
many people
Yes.
signed up
Yep.
to it costs nothing, people. Go sign
No.
up to their email list. I'm going to find that link and drop it in the chat again. Just go sign up so you can be notified of when they are launching. And I'm assuming even
Mhm.
even maybe a little hype pre-launch, like maybe giving previews and stuff. Is that what your plans are with the mail list?
With that, but also we didn't want this to be just a typical newsletter. Oh boy, here's something new cluttering up my inbox. You get fiction, flash fiction. Just because of the amount of time involved, we can't draw out an entire story, but you will get a short story about characters, about events from the world of Galaxy Memorial Park. Like the next edition is coming out basically Christmas Day. And that is a story about a character by the name of Silverbug, a hero by the name of Silverbug. And she's this technical whiz with an almost ridiculous looking costume. She's very slight. Oh God, Annie Potts, circa 1980s, like Ghostbusters, or yes, or even or Pretty in Pink, her character from Pretty in Pink.
Right.
She's got a lot of heart, a lot of fighting spirit, and she just has this. Like I said, it's an almost an Iron Man level of armor and all of that, but it looks almost comical, and it really causes like big Goodfellas type like villains. It drives them crazy because she's sitting there flipping them around and knocking them out, and they're getting their butts handed to them by this little lady in a ridiculous looking costume.
I can't.
What's that? Go ahead.
I was going to say, every time I watch Young Sheldon, I see Mima and I go, "There's Silverbug." And it's exactly her
yes,
attitude.
That's right. Yeah. Yes, and so that's going to be a story about her on Christmas Eve. Something that happens with her on Christmas Eve.
And when you when you first meet Silverbug, she's retired. She's a soccer mom.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of the scenes that we show, she's putting away her equipment and inside the garage, and right next to it is her minivan that says "soccer mom" on it.
Oh, cool. So she's got that little lady sass then.
Yes.
Oh yes. Okay. Oh yes.
That's cool.
And right now, for her flashback series, her flashback chapter takes place in book 3, and currently, right now, Dionysus from Tome the Reckoning is penciling the first 16 pages of that. So we're in the process of and I just laid out some chapters for book 3 as well today. So we're already working on book 3.
And Dio's work on that story is just phenomenal. I am knocked out every time he sends us a page. He is absolutely phenomenal. It was actually Levi's idea to put him on that little flashback.
He came on X and said his favorite character was Spider-Man, and I simply said, okay, if how about Spider-Gwen battling mobsters in a bar?
Yes.
Right? He's like, sold. So I'm like, all right, here you go. Yeah.
That is awesome. So yeah, you guys said that you are gathering a lot of information from the indie comic sphere on like how to run your campaign and everything. But it seems like you've been hanging at least Levi's been hanging out in the scene for a little bit to see what people are doing. How long have you been kind of dialed into? Because I met you through Madness Comic Network. So
I did not return to the industry until August of 23. Before that, I had walked away in 2016.
Okay.
So I just threw my hands up and said no more. And the following year, 2017, is when I had my 3 strokes. So, and then they just tell you, sit on your ass, gain 100 pounds, do nothing. And I'm like, the worst thing you could do to me, right? So I love to read, and I love to garden, and I love to draw. And that's basically what it left me to do. So I'm like, okay, so let's dive back into this, So
yes. Yep.
Yeah.
And did you notice a marked improvement pretty quickly after you decided to not sit on your butt and start drawing, or how did that go? How was that journey?
Jay did make a couple jokes that I'm a better artist now after my strokes than I was before my strokes. So, yeah. But yeah, it took some time. I'm constantly getting better. So yeah, and it just became a process for me, like physical therapy every day, where I would work myself until I started sweating on my left side, and I had the wrong physical therapy at first, where it had me doing word searches, which is pattern recognition for and my brain doesn't work that way anymore. So my brain ended up swelling, and I ended up back in the hospital again with my official diagnosis of vestibular.
Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm so happy that you're able to work. And how about no more strokes? Okay.
Well, mine were cryptid. So they do all the research. Once you have a TBI, you can put money into why you had it or your recovery to it. And mine was fairly easy to figure out, even though they ran a bunch of tests on me. I had a heart implant monitor on me, and they implanted in me. And so basically it was, I damaged my lower L4 was in second stage, and I was seeing a chiropractor, and I was such an easy fix that he would just throw in a shoulder, throw in a elbow, whatever it was. And finally he gave me a chiropractic adjustment to my neck, and I ended up in the emergency room.
Oh.
And the emergency room doctor was like, "Well, Levi, you don't do any hard drugs." And, no, like you barely smoke a pack a day. And I'm like, "Yeah," which I don't smoke anymore, thank God. And he's like, "Have you had a chiropractic adjustment in the last week?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "That's it.
Wow.
Do not manipulate your neck." Yeah. So, and it's a secondary injury somewhere in your lifetime. You have caused damage to your the two main arteries in your neck. And the secondary injury, the second time you get whiplash, it's a skin flake inside your blood vessel that floats up into your brain. It flakes off in your neck and floats up. So it's not really even the chiropractor's fault. So,
Yep.
so
All right.
the chances of me having another stroke are pretty
Good.
grim. Yeah.
I'm very, very glad to hear that. Because when you hear somebody's had multiple strokes, you kind of think it might be a chronic problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, very good. I love your story. I love your story very much. But it's time to get into our segments. Are you guys ready to mansplain some stuff to me?
Before they
Okay.
Before they jump into mansplain, I was looking at your website earlier and I was trying to understand the drifter.
Okay.
Is
Drifter?
Is that like Clint Eastwood?
He's based on the High Plains Drifter.
That's
now,
right.
I mean, that's the aesthetic of that character.
Yes.
He's a man of few words. He's kind of creepy, and he's the Batman of our universe. He's all about justice. There's darkness surrounding him and all of that. He's over 100 years old. He was a no-account cattle drover, shot one of his co-workers over like for basically nothing, goes and tries to run away. And then just like that old Johnny Cash song, Ghost Riders in the Sky, we call them the Hate Riders because we can't call them Ghost Riders, obviously. But they find him and say, you're going to walk the earth for the rest until God calls you home, just like Cain in the Bible. Nobody's going to be able to touch you. No damage will come to you, but you never can take a life. Right. So he basically he wanders everywhere. He can't use vehicles. He can't ride horses unless maybe somebody drives him somewhere or something like that. But he walks everywhere. And like I said, he's the Batman of the universe, of our universe.
We don't necessarily have the A-team scenario where we have to drug him every time he flies.
No.
He is entirely, once his feet leave the ground and is no longer wandering the earth, he is extremely irritable. It just causes him to be more.
Yep. Yes.
Okay, so that's kind of like the soul taker in Preacher. Graham, forgot his name.
There's a little bit of that, yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of Undertaker from WWE, even a little bit of Gunslinger from Stephen King. There's all of these tropes that basically make him up.
Yeah, but I like how you classified him as the Batman of your hero.
Yes, right.
The Batman of your Justice League.
Right. Yes. And our Superman, really quickly, our Superman / Captain America is half Navajo. He is called the U.S. Arrow. And his thing is like, Green Arrow or Hawkeye. He's got all sorts of trick arrows. He's got the red, white, and blue. He's always clashing with, some of his people. It's like, what are you dressing up in the United States colors for, with everything that the government's done to our people and all of that? And it's like, and he explains this is why, but he's the Superman / Captain America, an Indian, and the Drifter, a cowboy. You have a cowboy and an Indian and a cowboy. That's your Batman and Superman of our. You just don't get any more American, patriotic than that.
Yeah, that's great. I love it. Very good. All right, I'll digress, Christy, so you can get back into it.
Yep.
And Bruce, you are allowed to mansplain to me also anytime you want, because for this mansplain, I have a very pointed comic question, but let's get into mansplain first.
Mansplaining has positively changed her life. You can see it in her eyes.
These are her eyes.
Expect to see it in my eyes. So, I've been floating around the crowdfunding circle for about a year, and I'm not of a comics background. So I'm learning a lot, and I'm learning also to enjoy reading comics. Basically, what I decided to do is I do want to become a fan of comics, but only of the indie comics. Like, I'm not even going to try going to Marvel and DC and all the big guys. I just want to be fans of indie comics. So from the beginning, I know there's a term ashcan. I don't know what it is. Why do we do it? And just give me as many details as you can about what an ashcan is and why.
Back in the day, everybody was allowed to smoke inside the building, right? So the garbage can and the ashtray were basically the same thing. And comic book companies would put together a small. They would produce the book, and they would create a small sampler book that they would hand around the office and basically get different people's opinions on it and stuff like that. And then eventually that piece of comic book was supposed to end up in the ash can. It was simply a throwaway piece of comic book history. And there's some pretty valuable ash cans out there, of books that were created that are worth thousands of dollars.
So it wasn't a thing that was ever even published to be put out.
It wasn't meant to be published. It was meant to go right in the ash can once you were done with it. So then you would go, okay, this looks great. Ship it to the printers, and then, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, wouldn't there also be an aspect? What's that?
Sometimes the ash cans would be original artwork. Like, literally somebody would just do a quick sketch on a page and add something into it, or somebody would adapt something to it, and they go, oh, this looks good, but add this or add that. And they literally draw right on the ash can. Yeah. And they would use that as kind of like a Bible or a storyboard to start the comic book to be able to print it in another form. And I had a couple of ash cans in my private collection early on from the independence, from the indie years, from like the late 80s, early 90s. And then moving, having a family, buying a house, we had the hot water heater explode, and I lost about 2/3 of my comic book collection.
Oh,
silver and golden age comic books.
Oh man,
in the basement, gone, just destroyed, just like hundreds of thousands of dollars of comic books out the window, gone right now. If I had those books now, I'd be able to get the hell out of here.
Also, real quick, thank you so much, Pops, for the can. I just got a can over on Pill.
It's a donation on the pill.net platform that we start with.
That's right. But I do want to know. I do want to know more about ash cans, because obviously that's not really what it means now. I mean, I guess sampler. Right.
We use it as a term of endearment. Actually, that it's completely the wrong term. It's actually what we gave you was a preview issue. And we simply, as nerds, refer to it as an ash can because
that's what it was.
Well, I mean, it kind of seems like indie standard. The word for it.
It's not an indie standard. It's a comic industry term.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, term that the independent industry launched or carried over into their genre. And I just have to ask: are yours smaller also, or are they full size?
Full size. We're going. We're not going to cheat anything. We're going to give them 22 pages. It'll be 16 pages of actual story content, and then fill up the rest with some filler stuff. And we're actually going to have 4 different ash cans on this entire series. The first one is going to be just continually reproduced. We'll have the first editions, of course, but we will do second and third editions because it'll be the copy that we simply hand out to people all the time. Like, here's the start of the story. And then the second, third, and fourth ash cans are only going to be available on the Fund My Comic campaigns. On the first campaign, once we reach, because we've had artwork, basically we're all done. We need to pay for our print run. So once we've reached a plateau, the first tier that we're going to have is going to be for the second ash can. Because we're so far ahead in production, once we reach that tier on the first campaign, we're going to give you a preview issue of the second issue for free.
Now,
So,
is that going to be in black and white or full color?
The series right now is in black and white, gray tones. So
good. That's the original ash cans were black and whites and grayscale.
Right. Yeah, we just we can't afford to color the series right now. If and when we do, we would like to collect it at the end. I would love to do a collected version of it colored, but we're kind of sticklers on getting things done and actually having people earn a wage while doing it. So so it's the money issue, and doing that before the crowdfunding is a little. It takes some planning and some budgeting.
So would you do a trade paperback and then colorize it?
Yes.
Kind of like PMC?
Yes. It would be a hardcover. Yeah, hardcover,
nice.
Completely covered. So there would definitely be a reason to buy the hardcover collected version.
Awesome. Love that. Love that concept. That's great.
I will say that one thing, the black and white work that's being put into this is still very, very good. Manga is almost all exclusively, it starts out as just black and white.
Yeah.
And the thing that's going to elevate it is the quality of the story, the quality of everything that's being put into it. I absolutely believe in what we're doing, even without color. It's not like, oh, yeah, we're getting secondhand stuff here. No, this is first-rate stuff. Black and white, color, it doesn't matter. I'd love to see it colored, but what it is now is still, it's everything that it's supposed to be at this point.
If you have a great story, it doesn't have to be colorized.
Yes.
Because people are more interested in the story and then the action. And and Pops is adding in that he has an extensive ash can collection.
Well, he didn't say
I understand that. I understand.
I know it's an extensive collection because
You
I've spoken with him about him in the past.
Speaking of the story, the first chapter is based on an actual real life event. So, Christy, if you've read it and you know where Grandpa was at on page 16, I've actually been in that position. I and my daughter's still watching. I lost her as a 3-year-old in the park.
Oh.
So yeah, that scared the out
How
of me.
long was she lost?
She ended up being a half mile across the park from me.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a family function. Cousins everywhere. Cousins took her across the park and ditched her.
Oh.
Yeah, it was not a good scene.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
no.
So yeah,
Not nice. Cousins can be mean.
Yeah. So
yeah, I never lost my daughter, but I remember being lost all the freaking time. But we're Gen X,
right.
and I do stuff like hide in the. My mom didn't care. I swear, she did not care. She's like, oh well, Christy's not there. She'll find me eventually, or they'll call me on the loudspeaker. It's like hide in clothes racks. That was the funnest thing to do as kids.
My son did that. My wife shut down Shopco. Yeah, she went up. My kid's missing, and he did the exact same thing. He hid inside the clothes rack, and they found him all the way back in the toys. So yeah,
we used to play hide and seek. We used to play hide and seek in the clothing racks.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of miss the day of like riding in the back of a pickup truck with no seatbelts and jumping around while it's moving.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Well, I feel a lot better that I now know the origin of an ash can and how it's used now and all that. So I'm satisfied. I think we can leave the mansplain and get into Levi's very favorite segment, which is called Creative Chaos Conspiracy Corner. I'll see you guys on.
I wanna live with a conspiracy girl. I could be prepping the rest of my life with a conspiracy girl.
Those weren't aliens.
I love that you also made yourself a tinfoil hat.
I did. I had to. I had to protect myself.
What is the thing on the top though? Because
It's just
like
I'm
a
trying to be all
baseball cap.
Christmassy.
Oh,
Yeah.
you are too. Okay,
Yeah.
the bobble helps
Yeah.
because you kind of look like a Teletubby.
I do.
Oh,
It's
no.
like a Hershey's Kiss, right?
Boy, I should put Teletubbies on the wheel because I think that's a conspiracy in itself.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, Mrs. Skeen is so lovely and nice for saying spin the wheel because that's normally Levi's job in the chat. So we are going to the wheel. JD, I don't know if you're a conspiracy theorist, but regardless, we are going to have a good time.
Oh yeah.
All right, so this is the wheel. Levi knows the rules, but I'll say them out loud anyway. So you get 3 spins. You guys can decide together, and I hope you guys can agree on something to choose topic 1 or 2. But if you want to go for a 3rd spin, you're stuck with whatever topic it is, and you must talk on it, even if you have no clue what it is. I haven't come across somebody that doesn't know. Well, Timothy, but that was a whole different story. Levi's favorite episode. Anyway, yeah. So you're stuck with topic 3 if you continue to spin through to number 3, and yeah, if you don't know anything about it, that'd be fun to just have you make up conspiracy. Anyway, you guys ready to spin?
Now I have two on this wheel that I've asked you to add, and the very first time we did this, it ended up on one of mine that I picked out.
Mm-hmm.
So if it ends up on one of mine again, I'm gonna
We'll
say
get a free spin.
Cosmic is fixing the wheel. That's my conspiracy.
Oh, okay. That works. That works for me.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, let's spin it, Cos. And Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
I'm
What do you think, Jay?
I'm waiting for Darren Wagner to come on for that one.
We do live in the Pacific Northwest. I mean,
Yes, we do. We should.
This is the reason why you do not go camping without a 45, something to knock something down. So because there is stuff in the woods.
Yes.
Okay, are we going to discuss Bigfoot?
Your choice.
Yeah. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say
right.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
First spin, everybody. Woo!
All right.
All right. So I grew up watching all of those documentaries like Bigfoot, the mysterious monster, and they would always be talking about in the Pacific Northwest. I remember I was at a junior high camp and everybody was talking about Bigfoot. And then somebody I can't remember what it was that I said, but one of my fellow campers turns to me and goes, "You do realize that you live in the Pacific Northwest, right?" And that kind of changed the way that I thought about Bigfoot. So what I think Bigfoot is a primate that nobody has seen before. I don't know why, but for some reason, like in Africa, the mountain gorilla was considered legendary until about like the turn of the century, 1900, 1920, something like that, which is why movies of that time, like horror movies and mysteries, they always have some dude in a gorilla suit because gorillas were still, nobody really was used to them. They were used to chimpanzees and monkeys, those kind of primates. But the gorilla had just been discovered in, right about like the Congo area. I believe that Bigfoot is simply a species that we've never discovered, found. People say, hey, yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
officially found. Because
not officially.
I do
Well,
believe plenty of people have had experiences.
So
yes, yeah.
two things. Bigfoot in the I'm gonna goof up on the guy's name, but the film footage that everybody has seen,
The Patterson film.
the Patterson film, that is a female Bigfoot.
Yep,
And
that's
then
right.
the second part is why it has the weird gallop to it is because it actually has a hinged foot. So there's an extra joint in that foot, and that's why it walks so weird. And it would be extremely hard to reproduce that as a human.
And the other thing is when you see the Bigfoot moving, you can see her because it's pretty much acknowledged this is a female. The way, it's kind of like moving, kind of like this, like in profile. And then it turns, but the way that it moves, no human being could turn the upper half of its body the way that it does. I can't remember. It was like Dr. Grover Krantz, I think it was. Yeah. He was like an anthropologist and a Bigfoot expert around the Dalles, Oregon. And he was explaining stuff like that. So I believe it's a cryptid. It's something that we have not officially, discovered yet.
Yeah. And we haven't discovered them because they teleport.
Yeah. Now, see, I do think that at least not, and as much as I think, think that there's some kind of weird like interdimensionality to Bigfoot.
That is part of the mythos on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I actually wrote a story where like Bigfoot creatures, they actually came in like different colors with different abilities and stuff like that. It was a horror story, but they were able to get from one place in the earth. There's like all of these tunnels underneath the earth where they're all connected, all these different kind, like the Yeti or our Bigfoot, or because Bigfoot type creatures are all over. They're in Russia. They're in, like I said, Tibet with the Yeti and all of that, other parts of Asia. I don't know about like the African continent, but, they're pretty much everywhere. So my thought was, what if they could get from one point to another with all of these underground caverns and things like that?
Right. And I do want to just say what's up to John's Long Box. Thank you for coming. And I had no idea they have a link to leprechauns. Have you heard anything about that?
It wouldn't surprise me. I think leprechauns and Bigfoots work on the same concept of the ability to travel from one place to another. It's not normal, so to speak. It's either caverns they go through or portals they walk through or something, because they show up and they disappear.
Ooh, you guys, can I tell you a story about fairies real quick?
Yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Just because leprechauns make me think of fairies. Okay, so my daughter, she loves fairies. Like she's just that type, and she kind of looks like a fairy herself. Like she's just really slim, and especially when she has a little pixie cut. Anyway, she was working over at somebody's house, helping them in their backyard, fix it up and everything. And she told me that she looked down and the tall grass was all folded over and interweaved to like make this tunnel thing. And she's like, Mom, it looked like a fairy. It has a particular word, fairy something. And then she started complaining, saying, I'm so mad because I've even invited fairies. I leave gifts for them, blah, blah, blah. And they never come visit me. Fairies never show themselves to me. And at that second, as we're driving, I hear boom, 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 boom from the back of my car. And I'm like, holy shit. And so I pull over really quick and I go out. And something lodged, a metal thing like this long, lodged itself in my tire and was hitting the inside of the wheel well. I swear it was a freaking fairy. because my daughter, because that's what they say about fairies, is they're very mischievous and they'll prank you and stuff like that. I think we had a fairy experience, and I told her, do not ever evoke fairies while we're driving again.
Crazy.
So does
But
that happen if you
what was-
invoke Bigfoot while you're driving?
I actually have no desire to see a Bigfoot ever in my entire life.
You end up like Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
You strapped
He
up
was
on the
sweet.
roof of your car, and yeah. I always loved that movie because they're Seattle Seahawk fans in that movie. It was one of my first chances back in the '80s. Seahawks sucked, you know. And it was like, oh my god, that guy's a Seahawk fan. Look at that. There's other fans.
So does anybody here? Have you guys ever seen David Paulides' work, the missing 411 guy?
No.
Oh, dude, he's got a Bigfoot University. So I think for anybody that's interested in like starting on the topic, go find David Paulides on YouTube. It's Paul Paulidis, I think, on YouTube, and he's got a Bigfoot University. He actually says a lot of Bigfoot researchers out there are shills, and yeah, he's got this whole theory of because his missing 411 thing is about people going missing in national parks.
Yes.
And national parks don't keep a database of missing people. And if they do, they don't release it. That's crazy.
Right.
Anyway, so I think he doesn't come outright and say it, but I think he's kind of connecting, like there's some kind of interdimensional stuff happening in national forests or in, and a lot of missing people go missing from a body of water, like near a body of water. Yeah.
See,
and then
I got dark water phobia. I hate anything I can't see the bottom of when it comes to water.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not a boater.
Not a boater at all. Yeah. Do not. Yeah. My wife loves the ocean. She grew up on the East Coast on the ocean, and I will not go in the ocean. Nope. Nope.
Wow.
So I have to ask, since we're on the topic of Bigfoot, did you guys last summer, did you see the picture that somebody took from a train of the Bigfoot sitting in the middle? It was like sitting there. I was trying to look for it, but I couldn't find it.
No.
Yeah, it was on YouTube. It was all over the place. The most recent sighting of Bigfoot. Hold on.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, how long ago was this circulating?
Just this past summer.
Interesting. Well, let's
They
see.
were on a train, and I want to say they were in South Dakota, North Dakota area or something, and they were traveling, and boom, it just happened to be sitting there. And the video footage, you see it as she's on the train going by, and there's the Bigfoot, and she focused in on it, and it was just sitting there. It was weird.
Interesting. Yeah, I think one of the more interesting Gimlin, whatever, Patterson, was that what it was? The original film?
Yeah, yes.
I think the closest one that I saw that I was like, okay, that looks pretty real, was somebody in Alaska flying over, like open snow everywhere, and an orange creature, a big orange creature walking across. I'm like, oh, that does not look fake. Because it's also in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Anyway,
South Carolina, November 2nd. No, here's October. There was a viral. There was a video of Bigfoot footage in October.
All right.
There's a couple of them actually.
Look that up.
But wow.
Cool. All right. Well, I think, do you guys have any closing thoughts on Bigfoot before we leave Conspiracy Corner?
Actually, really quickly, Bigfoot does not scare me as much as like sea serpents, the Loch Ness monster. Because like Levi, I totally get the whole, you're swimming and then you're like, your head goes under and then you see something headed toward you. And it's plesiosaur, giant eel, whatever. That actually scares me a heck of a lot more than Bigfoot.
We do
That's
not know.
That's what I want to say.
Yeah, we do
I
not.
would have to agree. You know, if I had a choice
Mhm.
between Bigfoot and a sea monster, yeah, definitely Bigfoot.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
I've heard stories that he can be nice too, and that you
Mhm.
can interact with him. Yeah, I've heard crazy stories. I still listen to Coast occasionally.
Oh, yes.
You know,
With George Norrie.
Yeah.
yeah. I miss Art Bell though. He was way better
Yes.
than
Yep.
George.
Oh, no.
That's how I decided to take my hat off. We're out. We're out, people. All right. Well, we've got one last segment because every guest cannot escape the Creative Chaos live stream without being branded with the hot Flip City brand. So we're going Christmas theme tonight because this is the last show before Christmas.
Oh, man.
So, Kaz, if we can bring that up, what we're doing tonight is Fred English versus the Regressives. I knew I was going to forget to do something. We cannot see the characters ahead of time. So I'm just going to assign them.
Okay.
So there's a sniveling, skinny little guy. His name's Chuck. And do either of you want to do a sniveling, weakling, soy-infested man voice?
I'll do it.
Okay. So then, JD, you're going to play Fred English. He's the one that's shaped like an egg. And I will play Mona.
All right.
All right. And it's going to start right after in the next slide. So let's go.
So just start.
Yeah,
Yes.
that would be you, Jay.
All right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Excuse me, not everyone celebrates Christmas. Your greeting is insensitive.
That costume is triggering. Santa Claus is representative of the white male patriarchy.
He's also the figurehead of greedy capitalist systems.
Oh, come on, you two. Have a day off. Let's put our differences aside. It's the time for peace and goodwill to all men.
Men? And what about women, you misogynist?
And non-binary folks, you queer phobe.
Oh, come on. Chill out. For Christ's sake. Christ, get it? Christmas?
Now he's trying to force us. Now he's trying to force his oppressive religion on us. Nice try, but we're pagans.
I'm a Wiccan, you bigot.
Oh, well, no one's perfect. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I have presents for all. Ho, ho, ho.
He just called you a hoe, Mona.
Are you calling me a whore?
No, of course not. No one would ever pay you for sex. Anyway, here you go, Cuck.
It's Chuck. Ugh, what is this?
It's a pair of balls. Something you're in need of.
What? Mona, he's triggering me with his heteronormative innuendo hate speech.
And don't worry, Moaner. I haven't forgot about you. Here's your present.
Slim Fast, how dare you body shame me?
Oh, come on, Moaner. It's Christmas. Lighten up. And I mean literally lighten up by a few 100 pounds.
And that was Freddie English versus the Regressives. Thank you guys for playing. And what comes with every Flip City brand is an invitation to any of our FAFO or party streams. So be on the lookout for those. And sometimes those come last minute because sometimes I don't plan, and that's okay.
That's okay. That's okay.
And basically, what we do during those streams is spin the wheel and do live reads and have a good time.
And not fat.
And not fat?
Never mind. F-A-F-O. Never mind.
Fuck around, find out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up for tonight.
Very cool.
Levi, where do you like people to follow and find you?
You can find me on X at Levi Skeen, on Instagram under 3 Stroke Studios. You can give our comic book a follow on Twitter, GMP Comic. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, you can find me on the Madness Entertainment Group's draw streams, or on Monday Madness doing shilling for other people's comic book projects. So all over.
And meeting all those
Awesome.
awesome indie artists.
True.
Yes.
Absolutely true.
Pops has got you working it, huh?
He's got me working it. But hey, it's the stuff that I love to do and that I can do. So
Excellent. Very
Yep.
good.
And you guys sign up for that mail list. I just dropped the
Yes.
link in the chat
Yes.
so you
Yes.
can keep up to
Yes.
date.
so when you sign up for that, you sign up for the mailing list, you purchase the book when it comes out. It's gonna give you a bunch of free stuff in your order. It's gonna give you right away. It's gonna give you a free sketch card to the first 100 people that sign up. We're going to be producing something here in a couple of weeks where we might be upgrading to sketch covers. So, so it's free stuff, free artwork when you sign up and purchase the book.
And entertainment.
Yes.
And
yes.
you get to know more, because that's what you were saying, right, JD, is that you're writing some stuff that is in the world.
That's right.
So you get to kind of learn more about,
Yeah.
Galaxy Memorial Park.
Yes.
And it's also not just history. It's adventure, it's imagination, it's the whole thing. Just happens to be in fiction form instead of graphic form.
I'm so excited for you guys. Well, JD, where do people find you?
Well, I would also say go to GMP Comic at x.com. There's also Galaxy Memorial Park. We have our own YouTube channel, even though YouTube sucks. We have, I don't know if I should probably say that or not. Anyway, you can also beyond Galaxy Memorial Park, you can check out some other stuff I'm doing on X. Gunter JD author at x.com. So at Gunter JD author. That's where you can find me mostly, is on X. We also have an Instagram for Galaxy Memorial Park, but Instagram's kind of a pain in the butt to deal with, but we post there and X all the time. So good. So I'm not the only one. Good.
No.
That thinks that.
I don't know why it became the thing for artists to post on, because the parameters suck.
Yes, it does.
There was one convention, like literally, it was like every other person that came to my table was, "Do you have an Instagram? Do you have an Instagram?" It's like, where did this come from all of a sudden?
Yes.
You can't post links. You can't. It's just a fun.
What it is it's good for scrolling reels. That's what I've been doing on it. I don't really look at my feed or anything. I just scroll reels when I want to doom scroll, when I'm in that mood.
Yes. So that's where you can find me.
Wonderful. And if you want to say it in your head, Gunter JD author, feel free. Right?
I want to know what you call your universe. Is it the Skeen Gunter universe?
Just the Galaxy Memorial Park universe. It's the best way, or just the world of Galaxy Memorial Park. Actually, every single post, I try to work out some way to put Galaxy Memorial Park in all caps. And if I can use the world of Galaxy Memorial Park I'll do that.
That's
Nice.
a lot
Repetition, repetition, repetition.
Yep.
That's right. Never stop repeating. I mean, that's rule number one in marketing, like especially in today's day and age where you are now competing with AI content and all kinds of other garbage
Yep.
content.
Yep.
There will be no AI.
No,
Good.
it's coming through. It's coming through human beings.
Yep.
Very cool. Very cool. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. We've learned
Thank
quite
you
a
for
bit.
having us on.
Thanks for having us.
Yep.
That's right. And thank you, Mrs. Skeen, for wishing us a Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody
Christmas
out
to
there
you.
as well. But we're not quite done yet because, Bruce, where do people find you?
Yes. Well, aside from being here every Thursday night with Christy at Flip City's Creative Chaos, I'm also available on Sunday nights on our own show. Cosmic and I do one with a few other people. It's called the number 3 Beer Men. And you could just go to the number 3 beermen.tv, and that will give you a listing of all the places you can actually watch. Click on any one of those links and you can watch us live on Sundays, 7 o'clock Big Apple time, 4 o'clock Avocado time. And there's Cosmic Grandpa. He just came out from behind his curtain.
Nice. And cause
And he's wearing his sweater.
that is
I
he's
found
the
mine.
only one that got the assignment right besides me.
I found mine.
Hey.
Oh, you did. You did.
I have an ugly sweater. I didn't have a chance to show it. So
Oh,
here
you
you
do.
go. Now I have a machine gun. Ho, ho, ho. There you go. There's my
Nice.
ugly sweater.
Yeah, cause let's see yours. Can you put yourself full screen? I'd like to see a nice big shot of it.
Let me see
you
if
do
I can.
that.
There it is.
There.
Yeah, that. If anybody can guess what that is by looking at it,
Oh,
we gave a prize for that one year on the 3 Beer Men. It came in as runner-up in the ugly sweater contest.
You know, I remember you playing that game, and I completely forgot what it is. Is it like it's like pumpkin pie or apple pie or something like that?
oh.
It's something pie, isn't it?
These are actually. This is the mathematical formula for Ohm's law.
Oh.
The electrical formulas. E equals IR and P equals ER and all the different variations. All of Ohm's law is outlined in a snowflake there. So
Well,
that
you
was-
know, it's funny because our sweaters are kind of similar. Can you make me big? Even though we're going to see through the green, but that doesn't matter to me because this is the Flip City ugly Christmas sweater. And it
Nice.
says it's ugly out there, and it has little political things, virus and a shot and all that kind of stuff. So that was created for Flip City by Rise Attire, and you can find them if you go to flipcitymag.com if you're interested in getting your very own Flip City ugly Christmas sweater for next year or maybe the new year, because it's still going to
Nice.
be cold.
I think Pops has got a sweater to show
Pops.
us too.
Woo!
Oh, cool. All right, let's see Pop's sweater.
No, Pops doesn't have a sweater on.
Oh.
Only a
That-
top shirt. Pops had though.
I thought maybe you popped in to show us a sweater.
I popped in to see. I'm not going to see you guys till after Christmas. So,
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
It's Santa Pops
that's right.
with your Santa
Right.
hat
Merry
on.
Christmas, Pops.
Merry Christmas.
I've been wearing this thing all month because I'm in the spirit. You know, trust me, man. On the 26th, we pull the hat back out. We go back to work.
Yeah, your iconic hat. I know that one.
His looks smooth. I want one of those.
Yes, that's a nice hat, Cos.
Yeah, it is.
This is carbon fiber. This is a carbon fiber fedora. It's even better
want
than
it
a
even
tinfoil
more.
hat.
Yes.
I want even more.
Because we don't actually have tin anymore. We have to put shitty aluminum.
Right.
And
And it's got its own carbon footprint.
Nice. Hey, and since Pops is here, thank you so much for welcoming me into the Madness Comic Network. And I've had so much fun building connections through the network and hanging out on all the fun shows and all that stuff, and being able to book for this show as
That
well.
has
So
worked
thank
both
you. I
ways, though.
appreciate it.
That
I know.
has worked both ways. I've met a whole bunch of cool people through you, Cause, Bruce, Aaron. Vulcan over there in the chat, Norm. All these people have been super cool to me since I met them. So, yeah. Look, I try to tell people, networking. You got to cross the streams, people. That's how we grow. It's
That's
just
right.
the way. Don't listen to Egon all the time. It's not always right.
Wait a minute. You said that was a bad thing.
You see, he did. He did say it was a bad thing, but
But don't listen to Egon.
That's right. Yeah, Pops, you're always out there grinding to promote the shows and other people's books and all that kind of stuff. And I consider myself a little bit of a promoter, but I can't hold a candle to you yet.
Today sucked.
Wait till
really
2025, though.
Today sucked really bad for me because Kaz knows, Levi knows, our internet was down for 11 hours. I could not promote anything. I live out in the boonies. I got a really crappy phone, and if I'm not connected to the house Wi-Fi, I'm lucky if I can send a message. You know what I mean? It's like we're just really way out in nowhere. But on those days when I have no Wi-Fi, on those days when I don't have power, what do, Levi?
Read comics.
I read comics, baby.
Well, that's why I'm like, was it really a shitty day?
Well,
you got to sit around and read comics.
Really, you were 13 again.
Man, all of these were pretty good, but my complaints are superficial in some cases, right? Like this one, okay, Jawbreakers, okay. This one is okay, but the way it came to me sucked. Like in a fucking manila envelope or some shit. And it's like that dude made a whole bunch of money. He could afford Gemini. Right? Hey.
Kerry's out there calling you Princess Pop. And I saw that episode.
Have you seen those
illustrations? I was watching when they were drawing it.
Speaking of drawing, is speaking of promotion.
Oh, I hate stupid green screen. It's good, Ying. It's our boy Mike.
Oh, nice.
It's our boy Mike.
This
is the first book I've read so far that I like. Just saying.
Levi, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, speaking of promotion and cross promotions, go to the meg.tv, find our schedules for the draw streams. The next couple of weeks coming up, the draw streams will be concentrating on Flip City. What we're doing is a cross promotion where it's tentatively working. We're doing
serial killers and the women who love them, and you titled it "But I Love Him."
I love him. So, and just a quick little origin on that is when the healthcare CEO murderer got arrested, one of the first reactions from all the TV girls were, "Oh my God, he's so cute." He's just kind of like, "Yeah, okay, you weirdos. He's a murderer."
Yeah. Try to look at the guy's soul, because it's dark. It's really dark. Right?
Yeah.
But then we've all known pretty people that were not pretty on the inside. So
nope. Yep.
So watch for the cross promotion.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be promoting that. So the first one is going to be on December 28th, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun kind of ringing in the new year thing to do. And yeah, it's a cross promo thing. People will be doing live art based on a topic that Flip City provides, even though Levi pretty much provided this one and we loved it. So we're like, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And with the more community involvement we get on it, I think the more flavors will be mixed and melded together, because I think we're going to be doing like social media voting and sharing and all that kind of stuff. So I expect it to be one of the funnest things that I'm doing through all of 2025, because what I will be doing business wise is dialing for dollars. So I'm going to be on the phone all the time. So these monthly or quarterly draw streams that we're going to do, it's going to be an oasis for me. Believe me, because I'm putting my salesperson hat on.
It's always fun, but when you give these guys like I did one time, I did a draw stream. Rini was there, a bunch of people were there, right? Drawing Crom, and it was cool. And it was like the only time I ever themed a show for artists, because basically I want you guys to give me what you're feeling, not what I tell you to draw, you know. So this is it's unique in a way. I'm sure there's other people that do themed draw streams, but these ones have a purpose, and they could get people work. You know?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that is, part of the network, right? Is to show off what you got, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up some work.
Right.
JD, say horror with me.
Horror.
Horror.
The horror.
The horror.
It's a horror movie. It's a horror
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
It's a horror movie. What do you want? You know? Speaking of horror movies, I got to apologize to everybody today. I didn't have internet all day. There were shows that didn't go off, shows that didn't get promoted that should have been getting promoted. I wasn't there. What can I tell you? I wasn't out there hitting that share button and that retweet and all the things that I usually do during the day. The movie. What the heck is that movie? Hold on. We are going to be doing the
Bigfoot movie.
The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now I wanted to do it after this show, but it's a goddamn 2.5 hour movie. And yeah, I think we'll do it tomorrow about 3 o'clock. What do you think, Levi?
Sounds good.
3 o'clock in the afternoon tomorrow on Pill. Can we put movies on D-Live, guys?
We've been spanked for running home movies.
Okay, we won't do it on D-Live. But there,
right.
you know, we're going to do The Last Drive-In with Joe Bob Briggs. Tomorrow, the horror movie watch party. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm sorry I screwed it up, guys. I did. I screwed everything up today. It was like horrible. I just sat here watching things not happen, and I was like, Cosmos, I was going crazy, blowing up his phone. I'm like, I can't do nothing.
Well, it happens. All right, Pops. I always save the best for last. Flip City Magazine, you guys. Go and anybody that is looking for a last minute gift, you can go and get the Christmas pack. I just dropped the link in there. And like I said, Merry Christmas to everybody. Thank you, Levi, for coming on the final show
Merry
before
Christmas.
And of course, I always appreciate my co-host Batman and the most awesome producer known to mankind, Cosmic Grandpa. Thank you guys, and we will probably see you next week. I do not have a guest, but I'm sure I'll be able to dig one up. That would be the day after Christmas. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Bye now.
Bye. See ya.
Okay, class. List everything insensitive, exclusionary, bigoted, nationalistic, misogynistic, and offensive that you can find in history's great myths and legends. Extra points for suffering panic attacks or emotional outbursts. Fact check every opinion against the lived experience of your comrades and allies, so you can avoid forming a criminal opinion. Scrutinize it cover to cover. Wrongthink, misgendering, dead naming, misinformation, microaggressions. Leave no page unturned.